if you don't test out your ideas early, you just don't know what the failure modes are.
So, well, why don't you maybe talk a little bit about the monsoon challenge? I got my post-its here. That's a big one. So,
That is a big one. Yeah.
tell us about the
So,
monsoon challenge. That one's pretty cool.
the monsoon challenge is a fantastic challenge to do kind of like early on when you're getting your team together and you're trying to figure out a couple of things. One is just like, how does everybody work? How does everybody behave in a team? And it also drives home a very particular lesson, which I'll get to in a second. So in the monsoon challenge, you basically give people a week to come up with a very inexpensive way to capture as much rainfall as possible. And then you stage a monsoon with a set of sprinklers that you put up on ladders, and you give everybody the exact same amount of time, like 5 minutes, to capture as much water as they can. And what's fascinating, and I'll kind of give you all the secret, is that, there are groups that will spend their whole week planning and designing and drawing. And then there are teams that will be like, well, what do we have available? We have a sort of rough idea. Let's build it and test it. And almost inevitably, the teams that test it early in that week are the ones that wind up capturing the most water. And a lot of teams arrive at the moment of testing it, and the water falls, and all of a sudden they realize, oh, water's heavy, right? water's 8 pounds a gallon. And they had come up with this, like, what they thought was a very elegant solution. They never put the actual physical medium in it. So it is just a very powerful way, especially because it's like a little bit of a competition moment, to recognize, like, if you don't test out your ideas early, you just don't know what the failure modes are. And that assignment came from Jim Patel and Scott Cannon in one of the very early iterations of the Design for Extreme Affordability class. And David Janka, who actually kind of tells the story about being both a student and an instructor, he talks about how there were the teams that would kind of win the challenge in terms of collecting the most water. But then there were always teams that were just exceptionally resourceful. Like there was a team that, went around, they decided they didn't want to spend their $20 budget, and they went around to all the local bars and restaurants in Palo Alto, and they collected left behind umbrellas. And then they used those umbrellas to be the water capture device. And they didn't win, but like, that is such a
That's
great
so
idea.
cool.
Right, for working especially in a low resource environment. What are the unconventional materials that might be at hand if you just simply go and scout for them and ask for them? So we see all kinds of creative behaviors arise in that assignment.